The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. We need to get right to this. We need to talk about exactly what's happening on the market. Now going into yesterday's video and to today, what did we say? We expected upside. We expected continuation. I don't want to waste time. So as we got into the day, what happened, right? We had a little bit of a dip. We came down. 8:30 opens up and boom. Buyers. Step right back into the market. Push us almost back up to 12.9. We get shot back down. And then we kind of just stagnate where we kind of open the day up. No real movement here on the day, right? But that still leads me to the point of yesterday's video, which I was really bullish. And I like to always stand by with what I say. Because when you come to this channel, you're going to get an unbiased viewpoint, right? I'm going to tell you my opinion, unfiltered, 100% of the time. Now, before we go any further, I have to tell you to do and ask you to do two things. Please like, please subscribe. Think about it if you get anything out of this video. And if you think that I'm trying to sell you something or that I seem dishonest, I encourage you to hit the unsubscribe button. That's what I encourage you to do. That's my advice for you today. Now, before we go any further, also, I have to tell you right now, we're running a special and we have never done this before. So basically you get access to Discord and everything inside Discord, but you cannot get access to voice chat or to type in any of the education or options trading channels, right? But you're going to get it for half the price of $30. There's 100 slots right now. I think it's like 60 left. It's just really delayed in how this shows this, but there's only 60 spots left and we've had it open for like a day and a half, 2 days so far. So I'm telling you, once they're gone, we're never raising this again. It will be capped out. And we're going to start capping the $60 members also, which is full access and gives you everything. But I think this is the best way to show people that wanted a cheaper tier or just to see what option trading is all about. If you have to think about $30 being impactful on your trading or worth it, then I encourage you really not to join personally, because I think you probably should focus on your bills and other things in your life. That's my opinion. I never want it to seem like we're trying to take your money or anything like that. I just try to give you guys the most opportunities possible. Let's dive back in. So when we look here at SPY and at the Nasdaq, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about the Nasdaq and then SPY. Now, the first thing I want to say about yesterday's video, in order to turn bearish, what did we say? What have I continued to say? And if you follow me on Twitter, then you have all the answers. Okay, you have to break back below 12.5 to be bearish. The end, period. That has to happen, okay? Now, a few more things we need to be looking at. You do have a demand zone down here I'm going to talk about here in a second. Now on SPY, it's a little bit more clear and something that I wanted to be watching. One, we was watching our lows from last Friday, okay? This is what I was watching. Now, today when the market opened up, this was today, I'm so sorry. Anyways, that's from today, right? We're watching that level. Could we break back below that? We did, but we ended up kind of holding this level. But the main area we've been watching is around 410, like I said, okay? We go to the 4 hour, this is your big SPY level. As you can see, it's been tested over and over. It's our swing lows from, February 18th, and then we've kind of been just touching over and over and over. And that's all the way back from last February. It's pretty funny. It's been a year since this dip really, got started. And that's where we're at right now. Okay. So when we zoom in, we can get a better little look at that and what's happening there. So SPY, Nasdaq, that's what we're looking at. ES, it's really funny. Like I look at ES and I'm just like, dude, I can't believe where we're at when we look at the market right now. I can't believe that we're back above 4,100 and it's just relaxed. It's kind of bizarre to think about when we think about where we were at the beginning of January and like the middle of January, right? And we're really moving up. Now, so if we go back really quick to Nasdaq, I do want to talk about just what's happening here, okay? In Q1, so we're going to talk about it really quick. And I don't want there to be any confusion about where we're at. When we go to like the 4 hour chart, we need to just take a step back. We continue to get an instantaneous reaction on the market, and then everyone jumps and says, oh, we're bearish, we're bullish, we're bearish. You shouldn't be jumping back and forth like that, okay? You should have a plan, because when you have a plan, it becomes very simple to trade. That's what I keep saying. As long as you're moving up and you're mounting previous highs over and just stair stepping, what does that mean? You're bullish, right? I've been saying that for like the past week and a half, okay? And so as long as it's happening, you stay in this rhythm. And when we look at the trend since basically December 29th till now, you've been in an upward channel, okay? And now you're broken out of that channel. So it's like confirming an even more bullish outlook. And I'm not even getting to fundamentals yet. So that's an important thing we need to be looking at. Now, giving you a little bit of perspective, and I posted all this on Twitter. This was something I want to talk about. And I posted this in Discord very early this morning, and I was like, I need to post it on Twitter just so you guys understand this also. This is the perspective. This is that same channel upward and where we're at now, but this is every single drop that we've had so far. And you can see the first drop we had 3.7%, almost 4%. The next one 3.3, the next one 3.6, the next one 3.10. Okay? And as we look at this, it should put in perspective that just because you get a quick drop doesn't mean you're flipping your overall thesis on the market, or at least the trend hasn't changed. Okay, you can change your thesis all day long, as much as you want. No one cares, right? So that doesn't matter. No one cares if Tyler's bullish or bearish. All that really matters is what's actually happening from buyers and sellers on the market. Okay. So when we look at that, it makes me say, okay, this is pretty interesting. Okay, we're not seeing anything too different. And I posted this before we started pushing right back up, right? So you can see this is 930. We proceeded to just go parabolic back up to like 12.8, 12.9 almost, and then we came back down. So as we see that kind of price action, and I'm going to tell you right now, if we look at some of the smaller time frames, there's the potential that we could break down to 12.5 and even break below it. No one really knows how we're going to react when we touch that level, and not even me, right? So when we do this, and that's why I always say, try to end the day liquid so you can react to what the market gives you. Just like today, I was just reacting to what the market gave us. And we didn't even test the key levels we wanted to test, okay? So when we look at what happened today, we pushed up and it came back down. Now, this is my personal belief, okay? We had some downside early in the morning because of what was happening with the NFP, the non-farm payrolls, and it kind of justified it, right? When we look at what happened with those numbers, it was crazy. It was probably the worst payrolls we could have got, okay? Employment was through the roof. Projected was like 200,000. We came out at 500,000 jobs. That was bizarre, crazy. When we look at what's happening, we did make a lower high and we're back at kind of where we started. Okay, that's the bad news, if you will. That's not necessarily terrible, but it's the potential for possibly breaking below 12.5. So as I go into the weekend, I'm still bullish. I still see the upside. I'm still prepared for the upside. I still have a few runners on Netflix and Nvidia. Those are still kind of running, okay? But we made a large sum throughout the day today, okay? Posted those on Twitter so you guys could see. We'll talk about those here in a second. But when we look here, what was moving us? Was it the market? Was it yields? Was it this? Was it that? Was this the trap? What's going on? In my opinion, it comes down to this, and you can disagree, agree all you want. What is the most bearish thing in the market? Well, what do I say all the time? Is it a hawkish Fed? Is it going to war? That's pretty bearish actually. But what is the most bearish thing on the market? In my opinion, the most bearish thing that you can have out there is uncertainty. I think if you know what's going to happen, you can prepare for it, you can price it in, get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off. But if there's uncertainty, the market just doesn't know how to respond. And you tend to get a lot of people getting out of certain aspects and certain assets, right? So when we look at this, today we had this basically like a Chinese blimp thing, balloon, spy balloon, I don't know, okay? It was going over the United States, and it's literally United States. It's over the United States, okay? And it was carrying a large payload. That's all we know. It wasn't nuclear, but that's just all we know. Now, when we look at this, I told everyone during the live stream every day on this channel, okay, 10:30 a.m. Central, we're live. Those are not saved on the channel. They're only saved for members of the channel because YouTube will push me out as a live streamer, and I'm not a live streamer. Just know that. Tyler's not a live streamer. I just try to make more and more free content as much as possible. Anyways, so after we pushed up, then we didn't get any follow through, and once the buying just slowed down, we didn't sit where we usually do, like how we usually do. So previously we'll push up, we'll just kind of stagnate, and then we'll just go back up. So we kind of went up, stagnated for a little bit, and then no buying came in, and boom, we shot down. Now, in my opinion, it stems a lot from uncertainty of that, okay? And this, people are kind of saying, well, isn't this people are literally saying, is this normal that China has a spy plane above us, and it's actually breaking international law. So this is a big issue. It was pretty worrisome, and I think it's something we'll have to wait over the weekend to watch and see what happens. But for right now, this is what I'm watching. These are the levels. Now I'm gonna go into some stocks I'm liking and a few other things. Now this week specifically coming up, you have Fed Waller speaking on Friday this coming week. Michigan consumer expectations. There doesn't seem to be anything that will keep you updated. Jobless claims, that will be big because of what happened today, but that's on Thursday. Wednesday, not too much going on. We have Powell speaking, I believe, Tuesday. So we need to get a little bit more information and make sure that's going to be relevant, because sometimes it says he's speaking and it's not really anything. So we want to make sure, but right here, Powell speaking noon on Tuesdays. That could be important. We'll wait and see what happens there. Now, going into this week, a few stocks that I'm liking, I'm going to tell you right now, right? So when we go over last week or this week specifically, we've had some big ones, right? This morning, what did I say? Netflix, my favorite play, looks great. Ascending triangle, told you yesterday. Well, what happened today? Where did this thing go? We quickly find out that Netflix went bananas, made about $2,200 off of that. People in the comments, they left their gains and stuff, but we mentioned that all yesterday. Contracts went from, I believe, 7.9 to about $12 flat. So monster play there. Awesome, right? Very important to realize. Now, going into next week, what are we looking at? Now, I like some of the movement that we're getting. I like the fact that we're retracing kind of across the board. I believe it's setting up for the potential next level push that we want. Now, going into this week specifically, I still love chips. I think they're the strongest thing in the market. I absolutely love them. You can still see we're clearly in an upward structure. We're clearly just channeling to the upside. Very strong. Not as clean as something like, let's say, the Nasdaq, but you still look very good. Okay, I'm just going to highlight you look great. You look great. I know you guys hate when I say highlight, but it is what it is. You're just moving up, okay? I like how this is moving. What did we say here also when we look at a longer term perspective? If you can get above around 228, you have a clear shot back up to 260. So just saying, keep it on your board. NVIDIA, AMD, absolute monsters. AMD, probably the best trade of the week. If you've been here for any time at all, we've been calling this one out for a while. AMD, you're just coming back and trying to retest previous highs of 85.6. It's like I said, as you stair step, you got to be bullish. And AMD is doing this right now. So I love where AMD's at. If it can hold this level, I see continuation. I love it. Now, Netflix, still love these guys. Still love them. Big fan of what's happening here. Some people are calling this a wedge. I think those people are delusional. You came back down here near the end of the day, and you are retesting previous highs basically. You came a little bit lower, but I like where you're at. I think Netflix has room all the way up to around 387. It did hit target number 1 today, so I had to start trimming immediately because they were just up over 50% on that position, and those were dated. So those were really awesome, and they're playing out great. Now, if we go to Netflix, though, and I show you like the daily, I think things get interesting here because in all actuality, I think you have to be targeting that 396 level also. Massive, massive level. So I think 396, 400 over the next 2 weeks with continuation on the market definitely has a lot of upside there. So definitely something I'm looking at there. Now, one name, and again, these are all names that we've been talking about. Nothing really new here. Boeing. Boeing's interesting because the Dow is getting hit so bad right now, and compared to other indexes. So Boeing, keep it on your watch list. We kind of broke out of this like descending triangle that we had, or ascending triangle that we had going on. But if Dow can start bouncing back, I think Boeing's the strongest name in the Dow personally right now. So just keep it on your radar. It's not on my trade zone, my trade list right now. I don't have any of it. Again, I had it when we had like at 212. We instantly moved up to 219. Anytime you get volatility in a Dow stock, you got to get out because it doesn't happen often. So we had to get out immediately there. Boeing's still on the list. Now, Apple's going berserk, but my favorite name here is Microsoft or possibly Google again. Now, Microsoft, we came back into that level we talked about around 265. If you can start to mount 265, 266, I believe you have a range all the way to 274 up to 279. Clear cut. Because if you get over that, you don't have any volatility. You have not volatility, any liquidity in this range right here from 268 roughly all the way to 275. So it's going to be a quick, very strong move like we've seen with Google, AMD, Nvidia, Netflix, etc. Those are the moves we like to find out. We like to see the breakouts, but we like to find where there's illiquidity because that's how you make all your money pretty quick. Last one is going to be Google, and Google and Microsoft are very similar plays because they both revolve around AI, and I'm going to explain exactly why. Now, when we look at Google, we've obviously had that monster breakout, right? We had that ascending triangle. We broke out. We look awesome. Now, the thing to watch for in a lot of these is going to be the 200 daily SMA. It's going to be your best friend here. So as we look at Google, we saw that gap down and then we remounted, even with bad earnings. If you can stay above the 200 SMA, I'm looking for upside to 110. That is still my target there. But if Google can start getting above around 111, I believe you have upside all the way towards 116 in a hurry as well. Now, Google and Microsoft, right now there's this AI, I don't want to say fad, but momentum specifically in the sector. So you have to be focused on AI. Microsoft, what they're doing with Bing, Microsoft Teams, and basically everything Microsoft, they're integrating ChatGPT into it. It's going to be a game changer. And I think Microsoft is just on the road of momentum to the upside. Google and their earnings call, they mentioned the word AI 65 times. Pretty insane. They put another $300 million investment into an AI company today. So you're definitely seeing this battle of AI just on top and top and top. So all the momentum right now is with these companies focusing on AI, and that's why you're seeing this volatility, and that's why you're seeing Google still up, in my opinion, right? That's why it's still above the 200 SMA, is only because of that. So these are things to be watching for and keep your head on a swivel. Now, I'll have a video coming on Sunday just when futures open up, but I'm going to tell you right now, you don't go into these plays because they look good. Okay, that's not why you go into them. You go into them once you get confirmation from the indexes. I say this on repeat every day, but this is what I want you to get through your head. Okay, you trade the confirmation. You don't trade what looks pretty. Okay, you got to make sure that the indexes are on your side. So if NQ is holding above 12.5 come Monday, then God bless, Godspeed. We're hammering, we love it. Honestly, if NQ is holding 12.6, you look incredible. I'm just going to tell you, but I don't have too much faith unless this thing just turns out to be a nothing burger, which is what we're hoping for. Again, that's what I'm watching for. Nasdaq is still leading the market. Big Six looks strong. Apple pushing new local highs. The market still looks great, people. I'll see you on Monday. See you actually on Sunday. Have a good one, traders.